Yeah, there are two main issues that are very important, and probably that will define the success or the results or outcomes of that. Um, the first thing is that there must be a challenge or a subject or a sense of urgency, because whether in coaching or design thinking or whatever, but speaking theory, using the canvas, it is very important that some kind of sense of urgency or some kind of theme or some kind of challenge can be defined in order for people to use the canvases uh, in their best interest and in some kind of way that they can relate to their pains and gains. So, for example, it's not about it's not about the industry shifts strategy map tools. It's not about the tool. It's about, for example, how can everyone uses the tool for their context. For example, I've used several strategy tools for myself. I have my own company of one. Okay, so I'm not using in terms of how can I say this, in terms of equities or in terms of stock exchange or in terms of oil prices or gas prices. I'm using it to my context in order for me to think or to help me think about myself. Okay, so this is very important to establish some kind of challenge that can be related in terms of context and in terms of the situation of each participant. The second one is great preparation and great design. So in terms of the moments or the experiences. And my experience told me is that um, a loop or not a loop, but a continuous interaction between the divergent and convergent is very important. So within each workshop, okay, you start with the challenge. Then, for example, you try to explore with a mind map what that challenge means to everyone. Then you converge to insights or key ideas. Then, okay, let's see how can this theme affects your customers and your clients and users, and then we will use some interviews or something like that, or internet research. We are divergent again. Then we'll converge with the point of views and the made insights. Then we go to ideation, divergent again. Then we choose ideas. So it is very important to people to get in the divergent and convergent mode. Because sometimes in creativity and with such, for example, in strategy tools, it is very easy to diverge and to create insights. It's not that easy to decide what to do with that information, and how can that information be applied to an action plan or a project. So it is important to people to get their heads in the head, to dream, but it's very important to put their feet on the ground again. And yeah, and go back and go back. And normally when this is most of the examples that I see, and I am fortunate because my professional path has allowed me to work in the strategy and in the dreaming part, but also in the process and in the implementation part, because I work in the industry, I work with manufacturing, but I also work with creativity. So I can see the importance by experience of having these both approaches combined and organically mixed. In some cases, people use strategy in order only to implement, and sometimes people or companies use strategy just to think about things or to analyze. And strategy now is a more organic and a more fluid and a more how can I say down to earth thing. And I believe that is the main one of the main advantages that strategy tools gives into my work. It is the possibility to bring strategy more down to earth. So I would say define in terms of answering your question in in a nutshell, defining a challenge, design the workshop in terms of having divergent and convergent moments with very good briefings and very good debriefings, and obviously allow some kind of chaos in terms of the conversations, because people, they talk about they talk a lot in companies and in meetings, but they don't they don't there are any, or there are few significant conversations in the companies. For me, talking is different from having conversations. So sometimes in the workshops, people start to talk about the things that are business focused, and they talk it about it not in a meeting mode, but they talk it in a conversation, like in an informal thing, but with focus on the business. So I don't, for example, in terms of team building, sometimes companies they create team buildings where people go to have activities. Okay, that they can relate to one of two issues of the company, but normally the activities in the team building are not business focused. So we are not using games in order to solve a real and concrete challenge of the company. So in the workshops, I try to do some kind of mix. Okay, it's about serious play. Okay, let's do some workshops with design thinking and canvases, but then we must relate what we have built it to our context and to our challenges, and to create in common some solutions.